Leanne Ross. I just watched your video, An Open Message to David Miscavige, and it got me thinking. I understand that OSA monitors the internet for anything negative about Scientology. What happens when they find it? Is OSA the only ones who see it, or does Miscavige see it as well? If he does, how much does he see? Do they pass everything up to Miscavige? Do they do some sort of assessment and only pass things that rise to a certain level to him? Does he have a list of some kind that prioritizes what OSA should look for or what he wants to see at the moment? Would they ever not send something up to him to shield him from seeing it? Finally, do you think there is any chance he would have ever seen your video? Okay, whoa, girls, a lot of questions. But I totally get where you're coming from. And here's the thing. I never worked at the Office of Special Affairs. I will not be able to tell you with 100% surety that the answer I'm about to give you is 100% accurate, because I don't know. I only know a lot of information that I've learned from people who did work at the Office of Special Affairs. So, what I can tell you is that, yes, an assessment is done. And not everything goes up to Miscavige. There's just no way. There's no way that could possibly be occurring. They definitely triage the assessments. On what priority basis, I actually don't know. I mean, imagine that the very first thing is going to be any threat to David Miscavige personally. Not the church, not Scientology, to him. Excuse me. Anything like that is going to be at the top of the list, right? So personal suits, legal matters of any kind that directly threaten him or his status, or bad, negative public relations, media, let's say, about him directly, right? And not every little thing, like real threats, not just somebody complaining about him. And I think that's where my video would fall, by the way, is I just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Shelton's made a video calling out David Miscavige, and okay, great, you know, yawn. I pretty much think that was their response to that video, right? I put it out there for you guys much more than I was putting it out there for him. To this day, I'm happy to have him watch it and respond to it, but I never had any illusions that he was going to. And I think I even said that in the video. Okay, so yes, definitely threat assessment on him, then on church operations. And even that, I would not know what the priority list is, because the compartmentalization of information at that level and what kind of things the Church of Scientology or David Miscavige himself might be involved in could be very, very far-ranging. We don't really talk about this very much, but the Church of Scientology does have investments. And I could not even tell you what one of them would be, but I know that they exist, and I know that the church invests in, you know, and wants a return on those investments. So where does it have its money? How is it, you know, what's it doing? It's, you know, we're never going to know. Unless somebody comes out and tells us. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right? So, okay, so assessments like that are going to be the second thing on the list. It's going to be like operational threats, real serious, tangible public relations problems or issues. And I'm somewhere on that list, whether it's going to be the third item on the list or somewhere on this, you know, multiple list, will be legal threats that the church is involved in somehow, like from parishioners, like Danny Masterson, for example, right? Now, whether Danny Masterson is innocent or guilty, I couldn't say, but there is certainly a lot of testimony against the man, and it doesn't look good for him. But the LA district attorney won't, you know, pull their finger and get that going. It's just literally sitting at the DA's office and has been for over a year. And Danny Masterson stands accused by, I think, 4 women of sexual assault or rape. So that's not a small matter. That kind of thing would be front and center on David Miscavige's desk the instant that it was happening. So that kind of threat is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about real tangible threats, not just videos or even, you know, necessarily books. I mean, I don't think the church was, you know, particularly threatened by the book that I produced about it, right? Which is, I think, of course, one of the best books out there. But I am positive that it was front and center on David Miscavige's threat list that day when they found out that Leah Remini was publishing a book. Troublemaker, right? Because that's international market. That is television appearances. That's print media. That's print ads. There's so much exposure on a property like that versus me self-publishing my book on Amazon, right? So it's it's definitely right. So Leah's going to get all the attention on that one. I honestly don't think I've ever crossed David Miscavige's desk. To get to your final question there. On this, I don't think I have ever ranked or rated as important enough on their radar to get there. And like I said, I've always said I'm okay with that. I'm not doing this to try to create trouble for myself that way. They just don't see me as that kind of a threat, right? The only time that there was response, direct church response, like unquestionable, it absolutely came from Scientology, was the website, the hate page that was put up on me after I appeared, the day after I appeared on Leah Remini's Scientology in the Aftermath. So, that kind of timing is not coincidence. So anyway, those are my suspicions about all of that. As far as any further inner workings or how exactly these lists would be compiled or what kind of things Miscavige would be being told about, I'm only willing to conjecture so far. So that's pretty much my answer. So I hope that helped, though.